Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. I'm excited to have our featured presenter here today, Allie from Executive. She is the Executive Director of Jesse Tree out of Boise. She's going to be sharing about their programs that focus on preventing eviction and homelessness. And for us, I think this is a great opportunity for us to step back and learn from their experiences and gain information that we can use in our communities as well. So one of the advantages of being a virtual meeting is we can broaden our opportunities to hear from other areas and other featured presenters. So with that, Allie, I'm going to turn it over to you because I know you've got a full schedule today. So welcome.
Yeah, and actually I forgot that we were in different time zones. So I actually already did the morning meeting that I thought was conflicting with this one because it's 10 o'clock where I'm at in Boise right now. So anyway, if we have
No worries.
That's okay. But I think 30 minutes should be plenty
Cool.
For this. So yeah, I'm just going to talk a little bit about Jesse Tree, the population that we serve, the problem that we're trying to solve, and then our programs and how you can help. Or I think, tailoring it to you all as just like things that you can do in your communities to kind of help alleviate this problem. So Jesse Tree serves Ada County and Canyon County in the Treasure Valley. So we do serve more rural areas as well as the urban center of Boise. We've been around for 25 years, since 1999. We were founded by people in the community who went around speaking to folks who were homeless and asking them how they ended up in that situation in the first place. And they heard a very similar story over and over again, basically that people had had a difficult month or a difficult year and they couldn't pay their rent, got evicted, and then ended up homeless. And so our founders pulled together funding to start to give it away to people when they needed it, coupling that financial assistance with a case management component as well. So we are still doing the same thing we've been doing for 25 years. We've definitely grown over the last few years. We have now 17 staff here in serving Boise and area in Canyon County. And we administer now about $150,000 in rental assistance each month to tenants. So I'm doing a lot. Since this is a United Way call, just wanted to bring in a story about some folks that we're serving that are part of the Alice population. So this is Michelle. She's one of the tenants that we've served, but this is kind of a similar story for many of the clients that we serve, especially for many of them that are single parents or on single incomes. Her monthly wage is $2,600. She missed out on a couple weeks of work because her kids got sick, meaning she missed out on $600 in paid wages. Her rent is $2,000 for a 2-bedroom here in our area. And with the cost of childcare, very affordable, actually. That's lower than what it would be because she actually had 2 kids, but $600. She had a scholarship to a local daycare. And then with $600 for gas and food and other expenses, that left her $600 short. So she couldn't pay her rent. And she came to us. And what we do typically with everyone, we went over her budget, what connected her to resources that she could use to try to make sure she was sustainable moving forward, and then paid that $600 in rent to keep her housed. We serve a lot of single parents. So here's another single dad that we served. He had an injury and at work and fell behind it, playing soccer, not at work, but he fell behind in his rent and went through the whole eviction process. He didn't even know that he was being evicted at the time. And we were able to intervene directly in court, mediated an agreement with him, and paid some of what he owed. We serve a lot of older adults, particularly those on fixed incomes. Judy was one that we served that she was actually taking care of her grandkid and was having to take care of him full time. Just her daughter wasn't able to do that anymore for various reasons. And she just got overwhelmed with expenses and ended up falling behind, and got an eviction notice, reached out, and we were able to get her caught up. Here's Dorothy. She was injured at work. I'm showing a lot of single parents with kids, but that's a lot of who we serve, for single caregivers. Just really difficult to make ends meet in that situation. So yeah, this was another gal that we served, and I could send these out if you would like to read more. We serve a lot of younger folks too, just trying to kind of find their feet out under them. A lot of issues with rent increases. I'm sure you guys are seeing that as well. Andy was one of those where her rent was increased by quite a bit. She couldn't afford it. And she had a really difficult time finding a new place to live. Then her car broke down. And so we were able to get her through that and help her get into a new place, actually, with security deposit assistance. So I just wanted to I like to lead off with the people that we serve, making sure they're the forefront of what we're talking about. But the reality is, here in the Treasure Valley, and I know it's very similar where you all are at in North Idaho, that 40% of people in our community can't come up with $400 in an emergency. And 60% of people in our community are living paycheck to paycheck. And that is data from our most recent United Way ALICE report. So I haven't looked at the ALICE report for Northern Idaho, but I'm guessing those numbers are pretty similar based on at least the cost of housing up there, which is, I know, crazy as well. So yeah, as a result, any unanticipated expense or crisis, you guys all know this, can lead somebody to eviction court. And we've seen, at least locally, eviction court cases really increase over the past couple of years. Even over the past couple of weeks, eviction cases have spiked to, we saw just 50 hearings here in Ada County last week, in 1 week. Normally we see about 20 in a week. So it's been pretty wild. The federal rental assistance, I just want to add, is made available to Idahoans right now. So I'm not sure if you guys are all accessing that. I'm guessing you are, but the IHFA HPP program, the Housing Preservation Program, is still available to folks in need. Ada County had a separate kind of similar program. It's all basically COVID funds that were passed through the federal government that were made available through these state or local government agencies. But anyway, in Ada County, those funds ran out, leading to a spike in evictions. That IHFA HPP program is the only real tangible program that's providing temporary financial assistance to tenants at risk of eviction right now. And that program should be running out in the next couple of months. So I just want you guys to be aware of that. That is happening up where you are, and you may see an increase in need around that time. Eviction oftentimes leads to homelessness. So we've seen locally as well an increase in people that are seeking shelter, 2,573, and you probably saw IHFA's numbers. That number is about 9,000 across the state. I think what's really interesting / alarming is that a large majority of people that are seeking shelter in the state of Idaho are people entering homelessness for the first time. So about 75% here in our area, and I know that number, so I heard, is similar around the other parts of Idaho. Just with the rising cost of rent, people have been making it work, but now it's getting harder and harder. And so more people are falling into this situation for the first time. And that's difficult because when somebody ends up getting evicted or ends up homeless, they're much more likely to end up in that situation again and kind of just end up in a cycle of housing instability for their entire lives. So And I should mention too, like in Idaho, if you get an eviction on your record, it's public record. It stays with you for your entire life. It's something that any landlord or employer can just look up and see. So if you're applying for a new rental for your entire life, that the landlord or even an employer is going to see that. And so that is really difficult to end up in this situation for the first time. So yeah, what Jesse Tree has done, you know, I mentioned we're really focused on serving people with financial assistance and case management. So we served 1,600 families here locally last year, and we're on track to serve that many this year, almost that many this year. We have a tenant resource center. So essentially a phone line, staffed and run by volunteers. And we fielded 34,000 calls and texts from tenants locally last year. Again, it's going to be about that same amount this year, 4,000 applications for rent assistance. And yeah, that is volunteer run. We have one staff program manager running that, but we have 25 community volunteers that really staff the tenant resource center. And that's been really helpful to just try to give people information, support, and ideas about things they can do during a financial crisis. And then we also do a lot of work directly with eviction court. And I don't know exactly how eviction court runs up in North Idaho, but I know in Ada and Canyon counties, well, Canyon's kind of on hold right now, but and we recently helped implement in Blaine County. Before a case goes in front of a judge, there is a mediation program. So people have an opportunity to go into a room with a mediator themselves, you know, Jesse Tree, as well as maybe, well, definitely the landlord and the landlord's attorney is going to be there. And then you can come up with a mediation agreement. And if you can all agree on some terms that the tenant can comply with, and the tenant complies with those terms, they can avoid getting an eviction on the record. So we oftentimes will chip in with rental assistance there in court during mediation. And last year we resolved 22% of all cases in eviction court locally in Ada and Canyon counties. And it was, yeah, it's been a really impactful program. I just want to emphasize too, I know many of you are service providers, probably, so you know kind of the value of case management and supportive services, but we're not just paying people's rent. I want to emphasize we have most of our staff are licensed social workers, case managers who are connecting people to resources, teaching them about budgeting, providing that landlord mediation. So really making sure the two parties are communicating better. Offering that support and kind of therapeutic relationship, teaching them about their rights, tenants about their rights and responsibilities, connecting them to jobs. So there's a lot that we do outside of just the financial assistance side, which is obviously really impactful, but I'd say case management's equally impactful. And we share data with the shelters actually. So we know that of all the people that we've supported or since 1999, over the past 4 years, 5 years, 4 5 years, 92% of the people that we've served have not gone to the shelter. And so just, I think that fact that our case managers are really setting people up for success in the future, not just, you know, paying the rent and sending them on their way is been really helpful. So how you can help your community, some of these don't apply to you all, but I think, you know, the big issue that we have in our communities across Idaho is just the shortage of housing. And that's really the root of the problem. And I know in North Idaho, as well as I don't know what areas you guys are all from, but, you know, Airbnbs are a real issue. You know, shortening really has decreased the amount of rentals that are available to people long-term. More of those resort communities, folks owning like multiple homes and kind of leaving them vacant, things like that. So we really need more rental stock, and there are a lot of creative ways we can do that across the state. I think everyone here has got to advocate for more housing development and good housing policy to make sure that we have housing that's available for working families. Obviously, you know, these other things you guys are all doing all the time, but I think in particular educating, especially right now, educating people about that IHFA HPP resource that's out there. And I'm happy to talk more about, you know, other conversations that you can have with tenants to get them to help. And, you know, folks wouldn't be able to apply here at Jesse Tree, but they could, you know, at least apply to the IHFA program. So, so yeah, those are the things that we would do. And I think really encouraging tenants to talk to their landlords and to make sure they know, you know, that they really need to be good communicators to avoid eviction is really important. And then the other thing I would say that you could do immediately with tenants is just supporting them to come up with a payment plan with their landlord. And we actually have some resources on our website that you all could access around that. We have, so our website, if you go to Get Help, we have a tenant resource center that has a lot of information that you could use more in North Idaho as well, North Idaho. Yeah, just kind of information about tenant landlord rights and responsibilities, what people can do. We have information about the eviction process and how it works. We have this payment plan template that I think is really helpful. So you can actually use that directly with a tenant to help them come up with a payment plan with their landlord. We have information on securing a new rental, how to find a roommate, all kinds of information anyway on our website that you are all welcome to use. So yeah, just wanted to throw that out there as well as a way that you all can help your community. So that's all I've got. I just wanted to definitely leave time for questions and conversation about this issue with you all. So I'll hold the phone for now.
Awesome. Thank you, Allie. I'm sure we'll have some questions here. So Evelyn, did I see a hand pop up?
Yes. Hey, Allie, I actually work for IHFA. So yesterday I just contacted the Boise office, and they did say, because there was a rumor around that we were out of funds for the HPP, and that's not true. So they're thinking it might go up to November, December time.
Okay. Good to know.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely that resource is still out there. So people should definitely be applying to that.
And then once that's done, once the HPP is done, we also have a housing prevention program. We go up to like $600 to help like with rent. And if people, they just have to show like a sustainable budget, and that from this point on, they can handle the affordability.
And is that a new program, or is that available before the pandemic?
It's a gap program. So it's like, it's not like the HPP where that can actually go for months, cover payments for rents,
Okay.
months behind and eviction stuff. HP is just to cover like a gap type thing. And then if they join the FSS program, if they're on Section 8, then they have we also can help them with forfeiture funds too. So, but they have to be in my program for that access. Okay. But yeah, you're right about the housing. The housing up here is like, they're building like apartments galore, but no one can afford these apartments. One bedroom is going for like $1,700.
Right.
So that's our main issue up here, is housing.
It's the main issue for sure.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that there is, so the Emergency Solutions Grant from Idaho Housing, we're out of funds now, but they re-up in August. And that is homeless prevention and rapid rehousing, and then our shelter grants, of course. So St. Vincent's does help with that up here as well, kind of in the same way Jesse Tree does.
Got it. Because we have ESG funds here as well. Yeah. So
It's really interesting the amount of advocacy you do for evictions. That's good information to know. And thank you for sharing the toolkit.
Yeah, and if you guys wanted to, improve the way that you work in your court, I've got contacts at the Supreme Court, Ada County, Canyon County, so I'm happy to try to connect you to kind of advocate for that because, yeah, initially mediation was only available in Ada County, and since we've been working there and really showing how well it works, we've now implemented in Canyon and in Blaine counties. So happy to, even help you guys do that up there. I'd be happy to personally do that. So just let me know. It's
I'm
really
going to let our case managers know, but thank you for that. That's like new information to me. So that's cool.
yeah.
So it's
Cool.
for me too. So if you could send that information, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, awesome.
Allie, if you want to send it to me, then I can distribute it to everybody.
So when you say the information that you would like is kind of the information on how we work in court with mediation, is that kind of what you're
Yeah.
thinking? Okay, cool.
And how you got established and how you're welcome there. You know what I mean?
So yeah, I
Getting in
don't
sometimes.
necessarily have, documentation to show that, but I'd be happy to talk with you further about it offline. It really just takes, meeting with court staff and then getting funding for a mediator position funded by the county.
Hmm.
And so you've really got to, and I'd be happy to, even if you decide to move in that direction, compile some information that we worked with Canyon County on, but just to show the benefits that we've seen in Ada County with that program. But then you've got to kind of meet with the commissioners and try to get them to set a budget line item for that position. And they've really enjoyed it. It saves the courts a lot of time and money, actually. Because instead of all these cases going to trial, they're all a lot of them are just mediated, and then you don't even have to, the court system doesn't have to deal with it. So it's been really positive and cost-effective investment for them. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll put my email in the chat, and then if you'd like to go further, yeah, just reach out. So
Other questions for Allie? I have a question, Allie. This is more of an internal question. You guys do great work, great organization, great program, but like everybody else on this call, heavy stuff, heavy days. What types of things do you do for your team to keep energy up, to bring in a little bit of fun, just to navigate from week to week or month to month?
wow, that's a really good question. No one's ever asked me that on a presentation, but I like it. So we do a lot for our team to try to keep, energy up and motivation up. It's certainly a challenge, especially when court is just so crazy. But a few things. So we do have one work from home day a week, just allows people some flexibility with their schedules. People really appreciate that and allows them to get kind of focused time done at home once a week. We have a lot of culture building and staff development opportunities. We do professional development trainings pretty regularly internally. And then a quarterly staff retreat where we try to blow off some steam, just go bowling or do something fun. And then we have weekly called stand-ups every Friday morning with our staff, where we all, everybody on the team, all 20 of us, get on and just take 20 minutes, 1 minute each, to talk about our biggest wins for the week, biggest challenges and obstacles, personal or professional, and then anything fun we have to share. So stand-up is a really effective way to kind of touch base cross teams. Our case management team does case conferencing as well, 1 to 2 times a week, where they discuss their biggest challenges with their cases together and try to help each other problem solve. And then that's where we also go over files and make sure files are client files are accurate and things like that. And then finally, I'd say we just do a lot to make sure that we have a strong culture. We've got, really strong value statements and leadership principles that we try to get people to abide by. And We do offer play of the week, where we give one person a week a free coffee for doing something great, in line with our values and principles. And then we also do 360 staff reviews. So all of our staff reviews are two-sided. So a staff member is evaluating their employee and vice versa, or their manager and the vice versa. So, and we do those quarterly. So it just gives people a lot of opportunities to get feedback and discuss kind of challenges that they're dealing with or ways they want their role to develop or change. So anyway, I could go on, but we've done a lot to try
Awesome.
to try to do that.
And then my other question would be, in your time at Jesse Tree, what are you most proud of?
Oof. I think in line with what I just said is probably staff retention. We have a 90+% retention rate with our staff, even though we're doing this really difficult work. And I think it is just the work that I've done and my management team has done with trying to make sure people feel good about the work and are not burning themselves out at the same time. And you know, with that, still, you know, being able to serve so many people. I think I'm really passionate about this mission in particular, not only for our area, but for the state of Idaho, because we don't have homelessness like a lot of other states or cities do, you know, where you see people all over the place, you know, sleeping on the sidewalk or camping in tents. And I think that prevention and investments there are really, really important for our state right now. And so I just also feel really proud to be part of that work, preventing homelessness, you know, from happening to one person at a time, of course, but also just to our community as a whole.
Awesome. Very
So,
good. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Allie? Typically, this group is not this quiet, so I think they're just
Uh-oh.
excited about the information. They're very excited about the information you've already shared. So their wheels are turning as we
Hopefully.
speak. So, Allie, you're more than welcome to hang out. If you got to go, you got to go. That's great. We're gonna switch gears and go into our virtual roundtable. But thank you again, Allie, for being part of this and being willing to jump on a call on a group like
Yeah.
this. And we
And
really
thank you
appreciate
all
your time.
for all that you're doing. So keep up the good work. And yeah, feel free to stay in touch with me, email, reach out anytime. So happy to be support to you all.
Awesome.
Thanks, Allie. You're awesome.
Thanks, Allie.
Yeah, thanks, Ellie.